Okay, getting back to it. We got the BBR skid plate here ready for installation, plus we're doing the nubs foot peg cradle. Yeah, to do this on the 2019s and up, I believe. Don't quote me, but I believe it's 2019 and up. This is a 2022 model. So right here, that hole that's in the cylinder needs to be tapped out. Yeah, using a tap, a drill bit first, and your little tap tool holder. It looks like it's gonna be easier to remove the exhaust. Probably the same if you have the stock exhaust on. Sorry, I don't have a video of putting the stock exhaust or changing the exhaust. Pretty simple. Unbolt it and bolt the new one up. Didn't have to change anything. The fit and finish on this thing is perfect. Really happy with it. Pretty much the cheapest pipe besides for the Piranha junk. This is the Two Brothers Racing. Super nice. Super happy with the product. It's way slimmer than pretty much all the other pipes, so you ain't gotta worry as much about scratching it when you loop out on a wheelie or something, or just dump it or whatever, you know. So yeah, first things first is I'm gonna unbolt the exhaust. I don't think it's necessary to do this, but I think it does make it easier. Now, I was able just to use my highly recommended Milwaukee Fuel 12 volt to zap this one off. I gotta use a wrench on the front one, which is kind of whack, but whatever. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go ahead and just take these off and unbolt the exhaust. Zap that off. That's pretty much it for that. And boom, that gives you way more room to just work on that. I like to put my bolts back, just makes it easier, you don't lose them. I just put these on there so you don't damage the threads or lose those in the process. So yeah, BBR sends you this little bag of hardware, which I'm going to use because why wouldn't you? Alright, so I take this piece of hardware, this bolt, that BBR sent, and I get my depth, set. See if we can focus this in. I make a little mark on my drill bit, not quite to the end of the threads, because you have this thickness here, that's gonna take up some of them threads on the bolt. So, I make a mark right about there. That way I don't go too deep with my drill bit. And we go ahead and drill this hole out. Make sure you use lots of lube as you do it. I'm just using some breakaway. As I drill it, I'm gonna add some lube to it. So, go ahead and do that. Tap. thread in your hole. Okay, once you get that tapped out and get your bolt in there, you know, you got that all working properly. You're gonna want to take the skid plate here and come over to this side of the engine and get it lined up, because you're gonna notice that that hole doesn't exactly line up the way it should properly. So you're gonna want to take a, I take a Sharpie and kind of mark this thing right here, so that you're gonna have to trim a little of that out, notch it out a little bit, the plastic piece over the sensor cover, so that the BBR skid plate will fit on there right. So you're gonna want to take the bolt out here. Take that bolt out. There's another one on the bottom here. Snap those two off and it comes right off. And then it exposes your sensor. So be careful not to damage that. I'm sure that thing's not cheap. And then, yeah, you can see here, I made a little notch line. Yeah, you don't want to notch that thing out a little bit. You get that skid plate to sit on there right. Okay, so I actually messed up the first time I notched it. I didn't realize I needed to take that whole ear off with the bolt hole in it already. So you could definitely do a little better job than I did if you take your time and actually look at it right, to where you won't get all this nastiness down here. And you can leave part of this connected up here, so it's much sturdier than mine, but this will still work. So we're gonna go ahead and prop the phone up so you can see again. I'm gonna put this piece back on. I know for sure it'll work this time though. It's just took off more material than I actually needed to, which whatever. I mean, it's still serving its purpose, I suppose, of protecting the sensor. Now, when you're tightening this, it ain't got to be super tight. So, yeah, keep that in mind. You don't want to strip your bolts out. Now, dry fit it this time, and it should definitely go on there now. Yeah, definitely. That's what we want right there. Go ahead and slap that puppy on there. think of that. If I can get this one started. What's going on here? Huh. Well, angle. Why is this thing not want to go in there? There we go. Make sure you don't cross through it, because that is definitely going into the cylinder, and you don't want to be messing around with that. Just get it started. Leave it a little loose and come back, tighten it up after you get them all started. Take and come around this side. Get your bolt for this side. Get your bolt for this side. You're kind of lined up how you need it. Get your bolt started. And we're gonna come down here. Put these bolts in. Same thing, get one started. Get the other one started. Grab your trusty wonky. Yeah, I only got mine set on one. Go ahead and button her up. And come up here. back up here. Finish buttoning this one up. Now remember, my gun is set on the lowest setting, so don't think I'm over here just running at home on full power, because with this 12-volt Milwaukee fuel, that would not be a good thing. I'll tell you that right now. Bam. She's pretty much golden. Now, actually, I think I'm gonna put her on 2 for this one. Yeah, alright. So yeah, that's pretty much that. It looks pretty nice too. Boom. Real nice. Got a skid plate, gonna protect everything real nicely under there. Except for the exhaust pipe, really. I mean, the exhaust pipe's gonna still stay exposed. I'll show you that here in a minute. After I put the cradle on, I'm gonna go ahead and film that and edit it in. But for the most part, it wasn't too bad. Probably took me about an hour. Yeah, could have done it even faster than that. I had a little slip up here, tapping this out. So I ended up stepping it up to a bigger size. So I had to do a little fabricating on that. Just be careful when you're drilling that out. Make sure you use the right drill bit. I tried that 3/16, but that didn't really work out for me. Or whatever it was. Yeah, the 3/16. Use the 16/64, and I think you'll be fine. And then you can use the hardware that BBR sent. But I tapped it up to a 8mm bolt instead of the 6mm bolt, which is gonna work perfectly fine. I had to drill out the factory hole on the BBR skid plate just a hair so that the bigger bolt would fit through, but it works fine. I used the factory bolt that came out of the foot peg, you know, which is still a nice premium bolt, so looks fine. Can't even tell that I messed up, so that's all that matters. Well, yeah, I'm gonna move on to the nubs. Foot peg cradle.